Here's a question. When was the last time FIFA looked at the most popular sporting event on Earth and said, you know what, let's change almost everything? The answer is 1998, when they expanded the World Cup to 32 teams. Before that, 1930, when they invented the thing. So what I'm about to walk you through is genuinely historic. The 2026 FIFA World Cup, hosted across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, is bringing more rule changes than any tournament in modern memory. Some are massive, some are sneaky, all of them matter. Let's start with the obvious one. The tournament is expanding from 32 teams to 48. That's 50% more nations, and it means countries that have spent decades on the outside are suddenly at the party. But here's the thing most people get wrong. FIFA didn't just bolt more teams onto the old format. They redesigned the entire architecture. The number of total matches jumps from 64 to 104. The tournament stretches from 29 days to 39. And instead of 8 stadiums in one small country, you've got 16 venues spread across 3 nations and multiple time zones. Now here's where the format gets genuinely interesting. FIFA originally planned to put 3 teams in each group, 16 groups of 3, but they killed that idea because of a nasty little problem: collusion. In a group of 3, the last match of the group stage is played between 2 teams who already know the exact result they need, while the third team sits at home watching. It's an invitation to fix the outcome. So FIFA went back to 4 teams per group, which means 12 groups instead of 8. And this creates something that has never existed in World Cup history: a round of 32. The top 2 teams from each group advance, that's 24 teams, plus the 8 best third-place finishers. So 2/3 of the entire field makes it to the knockouts. If you're a fan of a smaller nation, that's a massive deal. Your team can lose a group match and still advance. But it also means a team that wins the whole tournament will have played 8 matches, not 7. 1 extra game at the highest intensity level on Earth. FIFA also introduced a bracket pathway system for the draw, which took place in December 2025 at the Kennedy Center in Washington. The top 4 ranked teams, Spain, Argentina, France, and England, are placed on opposite sides of the bracket so they can't meet before the semifinals. Think of it like tennis seedings applied to a soccer tournament. It protects the marquee matchups for the later rounds, and it means group placement matters even more than before. Alright, now let's talk about something that sounds boring but could absolutely decide who goes home. The tiebreaker rules, how FIFA decides which team finishes above another when they're level on points, have been flipped. In 2022, after points, the first thing that mattered was your overall goal difference. How many goals you scored, minus how many you conceded across all group matches. For 2026, the first tiebreaker after points is now head-to-head record, the result of the specific match between the tied teams. Why does that matter? Because under the old system, a team had an incentive to run up the score against weaker opponents to pad their goal difference. Under the new system, the game between 2 contenders is what counts first. It rewards you for beating the team you're actually competing against, not for demolishing someone else 7-0. There's also a change at the very bottom of the tiebreaker list. If every single criterion is exhausted, points, head-to-head, goal difference, goals scored, fair play, the final tiebreaker is no longer a random drawing of lots. It's the FIFA World Ranking. The lottery is dead. And for those 8 best third-place teams that advance, the ranking criteria are slightly different, since they haven't all played each other. Points first, then goal difference, then goals scored, then fair play, then FIFA ranking. It's a clean system, but it means a third-place team with a single win and a slim loss could leap over a third-place team that drew twice. Every goal matters. Okay, now let's shift gears entirely, because this is where it gets fun. If you watched the 2022 World Cup, you probably noticed something infuriating. The time wasting was absolutely relentless. Players milking substitutions, goalkeepers holding the ball like it was a newborn, throw-ins taking longer than a commercial break. Some halves had 14+ minutes of stoppage time added. FIFA's response? They didn't cap stoppage time. Instead, they went after the cheating itself. And the package of new rules they approved is honestly kind of beautiful in its pettiness. First up, the substitution exit rule. When a player is being replaced, they now have exactly 10 seconds to leave the pitch. from the moment the board goes up. 10 seconds. If they don't make it off in time, maybe they're doing that thing where they walk like they're trudging through wet concrete. They still have to leave, but their replacement can't come on for a full minute of playing time. The team plays with 10 men. That is cold. That is FIFA saying, "We see you and we will punish your entire team for your theatrics." Second, throw-ins and goal kicks now come with a countdown. If the referee decides a team is deliberately stalling on a restart, they can initiate a visible 5-second timer. If the team doesn't take the throw-in or goal kick in time, possession flips. Your throw-in becomes their throw-in. Your goal kick becomes their corner. That's not a warning. That's an immediate, tangible consequence. Third, and this one has goalkeepers furious. The old 6-second rule for keepers holding the ball has been replaced with an 8-second limit. Sounds more generous, right? Here's the catch. The penalty for violating it is no longer an indirect free kick, which referees almost never actually gave. It's now a corner kick for the other team, and referees will use a visible 5-second countdown before calling it. So yes, keepers technically get 2 more seconds, but they'll actually be enforced now. The old rule was a polite suggestion. The new one has teeth. There's more in the anti-time wasting arsenal. Any player who receives medical attention on the pitch now has to leave the field and stay off for 1 full minute of playing time after the restart. No more getting treatment, popping up, and suddenly being fine. The exceptions are narrow: injuries caused by a foul that results in a card, and goalkeepers. And only team captains can approach the referee for an explanation of a decision. Any other player who confronts or crowds the ref gets an automatic yellow card. No more wolf packs. Now let's talk technology. VAR, the Video Assistant Referee, has been expanded. In 2022, it could intervene on 4 things: goals, penalty decisions, straight red cards, and mistaken identity. For 2026, 3 new categories have been added. VAR can now review whether a second yellow card leading to a red was based on a clear error. It can correct situations where the referee accidentally penalized the wrong team. And as a competition option, it can review an obviously incorrect corner kick decision as long as the review happens before the restart. But the biggest tech upgrade is to the semi-automated offside technology, the system that debuted in Qatar with those skeletal wireframe animations that look like something from a PlayStation 2 game. For 2026, FIFA is digitally scanning all 248 players before the tournament to create personalized 3D body models. Instead of generic stick figures, you'll see an actual representation of each player's physique on screen. The new match ball, Adidas's Trianda, carries enhanced sensors for faster data, and the whole system was successfully tested at the Intercontinental Cup in late 2025. 2 smaller but notable additions. Referees may wear body-mounted cameras on the chest or head, giving viewers a first-person perspective of what the ref actually sees during controversial moments. And stadiums will have the option to make public PA announcements explaining VAR decisions to fans in real time. Because if there's one thing that drives people insane, it's watching a referee stare at a screen for 2 minutes and then point in a direction without anyone knowing why. A handful of other on-field rule tweaks are worth knowing. Handball penalties have been softened for non-deliberate offenses. If a penalty is given for an unintentional handball that denies a clear goal-scoring opportunity, the player now gets a yellow card instead of a red. The logic is simple. If a defender makes a last-ditch tackle that stops a goal, they get a yellow. Why should an accidental handball be treated more harshly? Deliberate handballs that deny a goal still earn a red. Concussion substitutions are now permanent and official, upgraded from the trial protocol used in 2022. A concussion sub doesn't count against a team's 5 substitution limit, and here's the clever bit. The opposing team automatically receives a corresponding extra substitution too, which removes any incentive to fake a head injury for a tactical advantage. Meanwhile, a refinement to the advantage rule means that if a referee plays advantage after a foul that would normally deny a goal-scoring opportunity, and a goal is actually scored, the fouling player no longer receives a yellow card. The opportunity wasn't denied, so there's nothing to punish. One thing that is definitely not happening at the 2026 World Cup: blue cards and sin bins. Despite a frenzy of media coverage in early 2024, the idea of temporarily sending players off the pitch like hockey's penalty box, was dropped after fierce opposition from FIFA and the top European leagues. Sin bin trials continue only at grassroots and lower-level competitions. The blue card is, for now, dead at the professional level. On the logistical side, squad sizes remain at 26 players, the same expanded number first used in 2022, with a minimum of 23 and at least 3 goalkeepers. The one small tweak, 12 substitutes can now be named on the matchday bench, up from 11. Match duration stays at 90 minutes, with 30 minutes of extra time in knockout rounds if needed. No golden goal, no silver goal, no radical changes to the clock. A 6th substitution in extra time is still permitted. One improvement that players will genuinely appreciate. FIFA now guarantees a minimum of 3 rest days between all matches for every team, with at least 4 days between a team's first and second group games. In Qatar, some teams had only 2 rest days before their round of 16 match. The longer 39-day window and the geographic clustering of venues into eastern, central, and western regions across North America help make this possible. And every single one of those 16 stadiums, including 11 American venues that normally use artificial turf, will have specially installed natural grass playing surfaces. FIFA wasn't budging on that one. So step back and look at what's actually happening here. This isn't just a bigger tournament, it's a structurally different competition. The expansion to 48 teams and 104 matches is the headline, but the deeper changes might matter more. Flipping tiebreakers to favor head-to-head results over goal difference changes how teams approach final-day group matches. The anti-time wasting package is the most aggressive crackdown IFAB has ever attempted. Expanded VAR and upgraded offside tech with personalized 3D avatars should make decisions faster and more accurate. And the round of 32 means knockout football for 2/3 of the field, which fundamentally raises the stakes of every single group game. What hasn't changed is worth noting too. The offside rule itself, same. Penalty shootout format, same. Match length, same. Extra time, same. The bones of the game are intact. But the body around those bones, the format, the enforcement, the technology, the competitive incentives, has been rebuilt from the ground up. The 2026 World Cup kicks off on June 11th, and when it does, you're not just watching a bigger tournament, you're watching a different one.